Hey party people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be talking about how you can save money. So first, in order to save money, we need to get into the mindset that we can. For example, I really enjoy music, so I might want to buy a new instrument or a microphone. So in order to set my goal, like setting goals for what to do with our money, I'll have to define which particular microphone or instrument I want to purchase, by extension how expensive that microphone or instrument is, and by when I want to purchase this. So this allows me to know exactly what I want to buy and by when I want to buy this item and how expensive it is, which allows us to calculate how much we should save per month. But it's important to be reasonable with our saving goals. For instance, if you're a college student without a full-time job, it's unreasonable to assume that you'll be able to save up enough money in 2 years to purchase a house, given all of your other expenses, such as food and housing, like maybe the apartment where you're living. Additionally, don't start off too quickly when saving. It might really shock you and cause you to lose motivation if you decide to put away an unreasonable percentage of your income so it can go towards your goal at the beginning of your savings career. I'd personally recommend adjusting your budget gradually so you can ease into saving, and that way you can keep up your motivation. Finally, though, and this might be the most important thing I say during this video, you should save and then spend. Don't spend and then save, because if you spend and then save, you probably won't be able to spend as much as you would if you saved and then spent. So I'd hands down recommend saving and then spending. So now let's look at an example. Sarah's a rising senior in college and has just become aware that her college career is soon going to be ending. Her parents have been paying for most of her expenses so far, and she's just realized that soon she'll have to afford her own apartment. So how can Sarah start saving so she can afford the deposit on her apartment? Well, an important detail here is that her parents are mostly the ones paying for her expenses right now. So one thing Sarah could do is determine if she'll be able to save money based on the income she gets from her parents. If it's not enough, she could consider getting a second job. She could also make a budget, determine how much she's spending. Like for instance, if she's spending mostly on the bare necessities, she'd probably need a second job. But if she's spending mostly on entertainment, like going to the movies every night with her friends, which I don't think a college student would be able to afford, um, then she should probably consider cutting back on that. And she could, like I said, she should make a budget. She should determine where she's spending so she can shave off whatever she can. And she also needs to ease herself into paying for her own expenses. So she could start off saving a little, and as she approaches graduation, she could save more. So she should save. And finally, she should save and then spend. She should not be spending and then saving, because then she's not going to save as much. So what do you think are some other ways she could start saving? So now let's move on to the power of compounding. Yay, guys, we're finally here. So when you think of compounding, what do you think of? Well, you probably think of something building off of something else, right? Well, that's exactly what compound interest is like. So consider this problem. So you start off with $1,000 and in your bank account and an 8% interest rate. So what would happen if you had simple interest where $8 was added every year? Well, $80 was added every year versus 4% of the prior year's amount. Well, as you can see here, if you have compound interest of 8%, which is where it builds off of the previous years, you end up with a lot more, like almost 150, actually over $150 more than you would if you simply use simple interest. So that's known as the power of compounding. What do you think are some things that it could do? Well, for starters, it increases the amount of money in your bank account much more quickly than if simple interest is applied, which helps your money keep up with inflation over the years. More on that later. This might also reduce the amount you need to save each month in order to reach your savings goal. However, as a negative effect, if you've taken out a mortgage or a loan with compound interest applied, which is most of them, you eventually give your lender more money than you originally borrowed. So this is why term of loan matters. The longer the loan, the more money you eventually pay back. Now, as I said earlier, Well, actually, let's go to the rule of 72 first. This basically states that money takes less time to double when compound interest is applied. And the time money takes to double can be expressed by the following. So the time to double in whatever unit you're using, so like whether it's month or years, is 72 over the percentage of compound interest. So if it was 6%, it'd take 12 years to double. 6% per year, remember, per year. So here's an example problem. If someone's put $3,000 into an account with an 8% compound interest rate, how long will it take the money to reach $12,000, assuming that no new money is added into the account? And let's assume that this is compounded yearly. So that'll take, that will take 18 years, which, I mean, that's just assuming that no new money is added into the account. So if you keep money, stagnant money in an account for a long time and it has an interest rate this high, like it's going to appreciate a lot quicker than if you just had simple interest. And you might be wondering why I'm using 8% a lot. Well, 8% is usually a realistic interest rate when it comes to stock market returns. So that's why, guys. Fun personal finance fact. So now let's talk about the power of compounding and inflation. So as you know, a dollar was worth more in the 1950s than it was worth now. Depending on the rate of inflation in comparison to your rate of compound interest, so basically, is your rate of inflation greater than the rate of compounding? If the answer is yes, then your money is eventually going to decrease in value, like usefulness over time. But if the answer is no, then the value of your money is going to increase over time, unless the rate of compounding equals the rate of inflation, in which case the value of your money is going to be the same. Make sure that you know whatever your projected rate of inflation is whenever you or your parents or relatives or anyone or friends or anyone you know is making a decision about where to save their money, because it could be really important in the future, especially when it comes to retirement. So thanks so much for watching this video about how to start saving money. We basically talked about the power of compounding, saving, inflation, and the rule of 72. And I hope that this was helpful, and I'll see you soon in the next video, in which we'll be talking about investing and portfolio creation. Also, for next time, I'm considering making personal finance videos into song parodies, just to like maintain your interest and help you like learn better. So if you think that you'd learn more from that, or if like at least it'd be more helpful to you or entertaining, please comment a song, preferably clean, which you'd like me to, and easy to sing, which you'd like me to parody for our next topic. And if you wouldn't, please let me know too. So have a great day. Bye, guys.